This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. Welcome to this special presentation entitled How Economic Activities Stimulate Your Local Economy and Beyond. Entrepreneur, believe it or not, there's a whole lot more going on than simply buying that morning cup of coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this video is to expose you to the vast untapped layers of many and major profit centers that are buried in your local economic activities, as you're going to see in this brief video. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, anytime you build something, even if this is something as minor as a birdhouse in the backyard, a lot of local activity is stimulated economically. And of course, when you do something major like build a major convention center, a ton of activity takes place. Take a look at this. Let's say somebody, a major developer, it doesn't have to be Donald Trump, but they buy some land. They get it surveyed and they get approval. Let's say they're going to build a major shopping center. Now, I want you to stop and think about this just from this standpoint. Let's say it takes 5 years to build this particular spectacular shopping center in your local area. Well, first of all, you're going to need a crew, right? And we're talking literally thousands of men and women that do all kind of things. But here's what I want you to focus on. As you listen and watch this list, let your mind focus not only just on what I'm pointing out, but all the other businesses that revolve around what's being done. You'll see what I'm saying in just a second. First thing, think about this. That crew, those men and women, they probably get to the job by car, van, or something, right? Which means they go buy gas a couple of times a week, right? Now think about where the gas came from. There was a truck driver that brought the gas somewhere, and on and on and on and on. There's a dispatcher that works with the truck driver. That truck needs insurance. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I mean about all these tremendous untapped profit centers. And it's the same in business. We're going to cover it more and more and more, like in part 2 and 3. But I want you to get the foundation. Now, stop and think about this. These men and women go in the morning. They either go to a McDonald's, a Dunkin' Donuts, or a local mom and pop store, and they buy coffee and donuts, right? Well, somebody's got to sell it to them, right? That means there's a vendor on the other end of that transaction who's getting part of that money. They buy lunch. Now, think about it. These men and women at the end of the night, they go home. Go home. Maybe they're staying in a local motel because maybe some of them migrated from another town to help out. They're either paying rent, a lease, or a mortgage, which means there's another building somewhere that's housing them, correct? That building's generating tax revenue, jobs. It had to be built. Do you follow what I'm trying to show you here? All the profit centers that are layered in building activity. Now, stop and think about this. Every one of those people that get a paycheck, they're paying local, county, state, and federal taxes. And if they don't, they end up like Wesley Snipes. So we can assume that most of them are probably playing by the rules. Now stop and think about this, ladies and gentlemen, because I want your mind to really focus on, if you're thinking, well, okay, Mark, I see what you're saying, but what does that have to do with business? We're going to cover that more about the profit centers in your business, and they are there, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to know how to tap into them. But what I want you to focus on is all the activity. And remember, this is just the people who work on these projects. But here's what I want you to focus on. These people, that the men and women that do the different jobs, they're buying groceries somewhere locally, either for themselves or their families, every week, ladies and gentlemen, are they not? They buy presents for friends, spouses, kids, and relatives, right? They send cards, they send flowers. All this takes money, ladies and gentlemen, money that they get from building these projects. Now, what's the other thing they do? When they make a lot of money, they go buy stuff like flat screen televisions or an extra television. They purchase newer, bigger cars. They eat out more often. They travel. Think of all the businesses that employ people so they can do all of these things. This is a direct result of something being built. Now, maybe they go buy a new house. If they buy a new house, they need insurance. They need furniture. They need landscaping. The house needs to be painted, so they go to the hardware store. Do you see all the activity that is happening? They either refinance their house or they're paying on a current mortgage that they have on the house. Even if they pay cash for the house is still generating taxation. Then they have appliances. They go in the house. Look at all this activity that's going on as a direct result of this. And let's not forget the fact that they buy Girl Scout cookies, and they order expensive pay-per-view events like fights and entertainment shows. You know, where they purchase some superstar that's giving some concert or something. The point is, all of this activity is coming about because something major is being built. Now, if you just look at this short list we've covered, and again, all the companies that revolve around the activities when they do what they do, entrepreneur, I'm telling you, the tentacles of your business, you and I, whether you call yourself a small business owner, a solopreneur, entrepreneur, or just your conventional small business owner and or service provider, it's huge. But the first thing you and I need to work on is that gray matter between your left and right ear. Because if you don't get that right, none of this other stuff, what I like to call the back end stuff, is going to happen because you don't even see that it's possible yet. So I hope you can see, ladies and gentlemen, in this short and sweet video, how local economic activities are stimulated when it's something's built. Now, in the remainder of this series, we're going to try to tie it together and show you how this relates to your business, product, or service. In the meantime, for those of you who want to discover how you're going to add an additional 25% more gross profit to your bottom line, entrepreneur, you want to do so in the next 90 days or less without having to add any new customers or clients, then you need to grab your free 9-page special report. Head over to youcanmarketonlinenow.com/sales because that's where you can get it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you. Who else do you know in business right now who's struggling? Do they respect your opinion? If they do and you got value out of this video, please help them out by sharing this video with them. You'll be doing them an enormous favor. On the other hand, if you're wondering, hey, Mark, what can I do with my business product or service to get to the next level? Then I'm going to highly encourage you to grab your free 22-part Small Business Marketing Mastery Series. This is an additional 22 free email sequential lessons you're going to receive on top of the free 9-page special report. It's my free gift to you. It's just my way of saying thank you and welcome to the inner circle. It's a $97 value, and ladies and gentlemen, here's the best part. Entrepreneur, I respect your judgment. If you decide after joining the inner circle, you know what, this is not for me, then by all means, please feel free to unsubscribe anytime you want for whatever reason you wish. This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. We'll see you again next time on the Marketing Minute.